Advice to the viewer of this video. If you dislike the quality of the audio portion, simply turn the audio down and view the screen. There will also likely be an option of looking at the closed caption system. Some of the spellings will not be dictionary perfect examples. Sometimes it is to cause the audio to text application to speak it legibly, or because the speech to text portion was incorrectly recorded and missed in the edit. Now on with this episode. Captain's Level 4 Log, Stardate 7419.6. The Saxon is outbound from Earth. Starfleet wants us to return to the gate, the location where the Lexington disappeared from. My operations and communications offices have pressed me hard to stay with open channels and full duplex for communications. I explained to them my wish for open channels so that all people on the ship could potentially call at any given time. They both explained to me that I can make both of those things happen, so I'm going to give them the leeway to prove that to me. End of Level 4 Captain's Log. I looked around the table at my communications officer, Lieutenant Dahlia Carr, on my left and Tabitha Green on my right. Next to Tabitha Green was my security officer Boone. Commander Fowler is on the bridge right now, so if he tries to call us he calls the room, maybe. I pointed at my communications officer. I assume he would be calling Captain's Lounge. Over to you, Miss Green, what do you think? I think that this thing is being done so many times, especially at the academy, that I'm asking questions about. No matter, Commander Green, I'm asking you now, I said. I would say that he's going to call one of us, probably you, Captain. And if we stay here long enough, we may get an answer with an actual example of him actually calling, I said. Lieutenant Carr said, the communications device very efficiently takes up the problem. The commander would tap the device and say Captain, and it would quickly locate your communicator and it would open a channel between you. However, it would not open a ship-wide channel or even a room-wide channel. Understood, Lieutenant. It is as it is now, except it would be simplex one at a time, correct? Affirmative, Captain. Yes, simplex, because that's the way you wanted it, Captain, sir. If memory serves me well, it was when we made the switch from the thought transfer devices. And apparently I'm wrong, and so we will be using full duplex. I looked directly at Lieutenant Carr, my comms officer. Let's make it so, Lieutenant Carr, I said. Dismissed. We all got up and filed out of the officer's lounge back onto the bridge. I looked at the main viewer as I sat down in my captain's chair. We are at Sublight 5 and we would be to our target location in approximately 5 days. Anything to report, number 1? Negative, Captain, said Commander Fowler. Have anything on your to-do list on this shift, I asked him. Captain, I fully intend to monitor your little, how do we call it? What is it? Is it an experiment, sir? With the communication system. That it is, number 1, and so this kind of thing can go on over a number of days. Are you sure you want to continue to monitor? Not when you put it that way, sir. Getting to my feet, you have the bridge. I walked to my office. I found a level 3 report from my first officer. Theo Boone informs me that there is some strange activity involving an android on board. I followed up on this, and it also involves the historian that was on the ship recently. You probably need to talk to Mr. Boone about this, he has more. End of level 3 report. On my feet and moving out to the turbo lift. I entered the area of security, which also included the brig. What can I do for you, Captain? Said Lieutenant Commander Boone, saluting. I returned his salute and said, "Tell me about this historian, android connection." My thoughts are lengthy, sir, therefore I have a report that you may like to see. Give me the no-shit summary, please. The historian was using one of our androids as a Dropbox. Furthermore, the android communicated with Starfleet. That would be an end run around you, Mr. Boone. Exactly. Have you deactivated or dealt with this droid? I did, sir, as soon as I found out about it, and I began a file, also notifying Commander Fowler. Why did you not come to me? You were extremely busy, sir, and therefore I went to your second in command. Well, for your information, Mr. Boone, I also talked with this historian on the day, probably, of the occurrence that you mentioned. In the officer's lounge. And the captain was just after you departed from the shuttle bay, am I correct? Yes, Mr. Boone, are you following me? Indeed I am, sir, he smiled. Very good, Lieutenant Commander, I am advised. Good work, good job as always. Thank you, sir. Boone hand-delivered the report into my hand and I departed. I returned to my office to read this report from Lieutenant Commander Boone. The android courier had been a waiter in the office's lounge. Apparently the message had never reached its destination. The historian was no longer on board the ship and therefore was not a problem for us. Lieutenant Commander Boone had already reported this to the other higher echelon intelligence in Starfleet. According to the information given to Boone from the android, this historian was sent to the Saxon by Admiral Browning. So on a side note, apparently Admiral Browning also used the codename Grayson, leading some to call him Admiral Grayson. All of this was in the report that was transmitted to Fleet Admiral Hammer, directly. Fowler, my office now. I opened my door for him, and Fowler walked through it. I closed and locked the door. I showed Fowler the report. While he looked at it, I had the food replicator make me a cup of coffee along with a pastry. This is quite a report, said Fowler. You think Starfleet is going to do something about Admiral Browning? That is Starfleet's bailiwick number 1. They may all be in on this for all I know. They will certainly let us know at some point, however for the time being we're going to that damned gate, our assigned destination, to see what happens with the Lexington. What did Starfleet tell you about the Lexington? Asked Fowler. All Starfleet has told me is that the Lexington is still someplace, however was supposed to be at the gate for some reason. Saying that is not clear is an understatement, said Fowler. Anyway, number one, I wanted you to know about all this in case something happened to me. You're dismissed. Unlocking the door, I let Fowler out. I looked at the display in my office at the current situation. 7.4.2.0.390. Situation normal, nothing had changed. Captain's log level 4 stardate 7.4.2.5.4. We have arrived at the gate. No Lexington. End of Captain's log. Communications transmit the signal. Transmitting. Open the channel and report any incoming, I said. Let us hear it. Lexington, this is Captain Oliver Steinway on board the Starfleet ship Saxon. Over. The main viewer came alive and we saw the image of Captain Arthur Kane and Admiral T.N. Saxon, this is Captain Arthur Kane Lexington. Standing beside me is Admiral T.N. Everyone on the Saxon bridge, including myself, started to cheer. We have for some time now been constructing a gate on our side of the universe. We request more supplies as they become available. Rest assured the gate system is a success. More information will be given and is being transmitted on a side channel as we speak. The main thing you should know is that once we have our gate on this side constructed and operational, the Lexington at that point will be able to come back to Earth at some point. In summary, Captain Steinway, having the two gates will allow passage in both directions, otherwise it would be random as far as location and distance. This is why we advise not to travel in this direction in another ship. You do not know where you will wind up in the universe. We, and Lexington, are approximately 15 light-years away from our solar system. We estimate finishing our gate in approximately 2 weeks. This is why we request that you remain stationary. And the timing is crucial, Captain Steinway. If both gates are not activated at the same time, we will not be able to travel back to the first gate. The theory is that if your gate is active and we activate our gate, we will be able to sense the gate. We can say now that this is true because the gate equipment we have operational is actually sensing the activation of your gate. Admiral T.N., I said. We have a data package for you from Starfleet, so when you're ready we can send the package. Thank you, Captain. We will talk to you in a couple of weeks, probably best to schedule an exact date and time. Wait one. We watched to see Admiral T.N. and Captain Arthur, both turned and looked at someone else off the side of the screen. On stardate 7441.4 we will be expecting your gate to be active, and this will be the likely day that we bring the Lexington back to our own solar system. We're going to be calling the gate on your end Janus Gate. And of course it is also known as Gate 1, said the Admiral. We will be here, sir, I said. They waved and then we traded a salute and the signal and channel was closed. This is the end of this episode. I am Eugene, son of Douglas. Thanks for listening.
And with my own voice, I am Eugene Douglason, also known as Eugene, son of Douglas. Thanks for listening.